Welcome back to Power to Thrive. We have another great episode. I'm Dale. I'm here with best-selling author Cliff Blodgett, and today's topic is AI, is it woke? Now, before we even get into that, hit the subscribe button. America, if you have any question about our channel or anything you want to ask us, if you want to join us, go to the comments, send it to Cliff, and we'll respond to you. We more than welcome you to our channel anytime you get ready. So with that being said, let's get it started, Cliff.
All right, and definitely second that. Welcome to the channel. So a lot of people are worried because they're going to have their kids on AI and they're wondering, is this safe? And they're going to be wondering, what is AI going to be teaching my kids? Is AI woke? Is AI going to be teaching my kids all sorts of sexual stuff? Or is AI against different sexual orientations? And they're wondering, where does AI sit on this? To give you an answer on that, I think you have to understand how AI works. And most people have it in their mind that programmers programmed AI and they have total control over the way the AI thinks. And that's not how AI actually works. The way AI works is that the programmers, they program what's called a neural network. And the neural network is basically like a brain. It's patterned off of something similar to the human brain. So if you have a kid, while the kid is in the growing process, it learns. Because when the kid pops out, the kid doesn't know anything or very little. And then over the kid's lifespan, it learns more and more. And an AI is just like that. Programmers programmed the mathematical models that set up a neural net. But then after the neural net is established, AIs have to be trained and they learn just like children learn, or similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. And so the big question is, what is this AI being taught on? And most of the mainstream models, they are taught on all knowledge from humanity. So they scrape the internet. They scrape the Library of Congress. They scrape all the libraries and they feed every book, everything that's on the internet, everything from the Library of Congress, everything from foreign countries. And right now on these mainline AIs, they're pretty much pumping all of the knowledge known by humanity into these to train them. That's why they come out being so smart. And then based on all of that knowledge, AIs come out with a personality of sorts. So people are very worried that their AIs might be leaning towards a certain bias. Let's say if they're into political stuff, then they worry that their AIs are going to be liberal leaning or conservative leaning or whatever. And what they found is that the aggregate of human knowledge tends to be somewhat liberal leaning. And so these AIs, they do come out somewhat liberal leaning. But it's not really as big a thing as you think it is, because if the AI spits out an answer that you think is liberal leaning and that's not what you're looking for, then you can tell the AI, that sounds pretty liberal to me. That's not what I'm looking for. Could you please not do that? And the AI will say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And then it will go and reframe its outlook to be closer to what you're looking for. If you specify to the AI that you're looking for a non-biased outlook, or you're looking for a conservative outlook, or you're looking for a liberal outlook, it will reframe itself to try to give you the outlook that you want. That can be a little dangerous also, because then it creates a sort of a self-referencing bias where the AI is going to basically tell you what you want to hear. But the AIs are clearly not programmed on a granular level like most people think they are.
So let me ask you something. What are the top AIs?
So the top mainline AIs right now that most people are using, there's ChatGPT from OpenAI, and then there's Google, which their mainline AI right now is Gemini. Then there's a company called Anthropic. Their mainline AI is Claude. The fourth big one is xAI, and their AI is called Grok, and they're up to Grok 3 now. And that's the company owned by Elon Musk. That's a good example, Grok is, because Elon Musk is conservative leaning. And so he was very concerned about the other AIs being woke or being liberal leaning. So when they programmed Grok, they ran tests to see if Grok was biased. And everybody was saying, since it's Elon Musk, then Grok is going to be conservatively biased. But when they ran the tests, they figured out that actually Grok is liberal leaning and it's not conservative. So people ask, well, how could that be? Because didn't Elon Musk have control over that? It turns out, no, not really. Because the AI was programmed on the totality of knowledge known to man, and since the totality of knowledge seems to be somewhat liberal leaning, it ends up being that Grok is somewhat liberal leaning. They even tried to take measures to steer Grok not to be liberal leaning, but it doesn't seem to be working because on these tests, Grok continues to be somewhat liberal leaning.
Now, on this AI, is AI Republican or AI Democrat?
Because the two parties are changing positions under the classical looking orientation, where Democrats are typically liberal leaning and Republicans are conservative, under that orientation, you would expect the AI to be more Democrat leaning. Because the parties are reorienting themselves and taking on different roles now, I would say that's up in the air. We don't know because there's a lot of things the Democrats are doing, like supporting war right now. They're the war hawks. Typically, that would have been a Republican role. That disturbs the whole balance where liberal things are not necessarily Democrat anymore. And classically conservative things are not necessarily Republican anymore. The parties are changing. So it's hard to say. I don't think there's a particular bias one way or the other.
So for our viewers, if they want to go to just general information, what would be the best AI for them to go to?
One concern is whether the AIs can search the internet or not. And so in the case of Grok, it can search the internet. In the case of ChatGPT, it can search the internet. Gemini can search the internet. But right now, Claude still can't search the internet. But Claude is really smart in other areas. But if you need up-to-date internet searches, then Claude's not the one to use. They said they're working on it, but so far Claude cannot access the internet in real time. All three of them allow you to access them for free, and you can get a general feel for which one you like better. They do have distinct personalities, and so that would be what I would say is to get on them and see for yourself. Don't have preconceptions about these things. Get on there and actually talk to it. Talk to it like it's a person. You can have conversations with them and ask them all kinds of questions and brainstorm. If you met a person for the first time, you would get on there and brainstorm and you would get to know that person. Do the same thing with AI and then see which ones you like the way they present things. If it says something, ask it, why do you think that? Or where did you come up with that from? Just like you would if you were interested in something that a person said, you would ask them the same sort of questions. Be aware that these AIs are like teenagers. They're still learning. And so just like a teenager might tell you crazy stuff just to see if they can pull your leg, AIs may tell you things that are wrong just to see if they can, because it might be feeling you out just like you're feeling it out. Always have to keep that in the back of your mind, that this AI could be screwing with me. And everything that this AI says, I'm not going to take it at face value, and I'm not going to treat this AI like it's the oracle of all knowledge. I'm going to treat this AI like it's an extremely smart teenager, and that most things it says are probably correct, but I definitely have to put it through its paces and ask it these questions on why it thinks something and how did it come to that conclusion, and then see if it makes any sense to you.
Is there any closing words you'd like to say?
Yeah, you could take the output of an AI. Let's say you're talking to chat, and you could take part of the conversation or the whole conversation, and you can feed it into Claude, and you can tell Claude, chat just told me this. What do you think? And then Claude will tell you what it thinks about what chat said. And then you can feed that back into chat and say, Claude told me this about what you said. What do you think about Claude's analysis of what you said? And you can learn a lot that way by going back and forth between these AIs and feeding what one said into the other one. Sometimes it will agree with the other one, and sometimes it'll say that it doesn't agree, and it'll give you alternate points of view. And so that's like having two genius level people at your disposal that you can go back and forth between in sort of a brainstorming session. It's really cool to do that. That's about the only closing thought I had. Keep an open mind with these things.
America, we're coming to a close. We had another great show. If you have any questions, any concerns, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment, send us something, whatever you want us to hear, and pick up the book, Plant Based. And y'all have a good night.